We want to take a couple minutes and tell you what's happening in regard to our reopening to public gatherings so we can get together and worship again. We've tried to work within the guidelines that were presented by the governor, both in the documents that fit with that 5-stage reopening, as well as another document which is called the Revised Guidance for Places of Worship. I wanted to read a couple sentences from that particular document. It says, both the United States Constitution and the Indiana Constitution protect the right of Hoosiers to worship and freely exercise their religion. The purpose of this guidance is not to restrict religious liberty, but to provide recommendations to places of worship and encourage safe environments during these extraordinary times. Yeah, I appreciated the tone in which that was written. And we've tried to work under these guidelines to be able to plan how we should reopen to our times of gathering together. So I want to take just a couple minutes, let you know what's taking place, and understand that as we are saying this all fits under the umbrella of if everything goes as scheduled. We don't know what tomorrow holds. We've all kind of gotten used to waiting to see exactly what's going to happen. But we're making plans if everything is going to proceed as everyone hopes that it will. And if so, this is what will take place. So the next 4 Sundays, which will be May the 17th through June the 7th, we will continue to do BCC Anderson at home just as we have over these past several weeks. So there'll be the Sunday recordings, some midweek recordings, trying to keep you informed about what's taking place, as well as a time for us to kind of be together as we worship remotely. And then June 14th is our target date for what we're calling our soft reopening. That's the target date for getting back together again. However, we're going to be working under the guidelines, both by CDC as well as the governor's guidelines. Now, how we're going to do this? There'll be 3 services on those 4 Sundays. So June 14th through July 5th is what we're looking at. During those 4 weeks, we'll have 3 different service times: 9 o'clock, 11:30, and 2 o'clock. There's a couple of reasons for doing those 3 service times. Part of that is the desire to have 250 or less. That's the CDC guidelines, 250 or less within gatherings. So we're hoping that those 3 times will provide more than enough for us to be able to gather together. We're also spacing those out so it allows time for those who are here for one service, time for them to leave, time for the building to be cleaned, and then time for the next group to come in. So 9 o'clock, 11:30, and 2 o'clock. During those services, there will be no children's or student programming, and there will be no nursery provided. This is to help with both cleaning the facility, also just working again with those guidelines. Also, no adult Sunday school classes in the building during that time. Our concern is that we have 200, 225 here within our service, and then a couple of Sunday school classes, then that takes us over that amount. It also means there's a whole lot more movement taking place within the building. During those weeks, we're asking that everyone would enter through the south entrance, the main entrance. That way it allows us to kind of control as we're coming in and going out and cleaning of the facility. Also, in regard to social distancing, the 9 o'clock service we're reserving for those who would be at risk, either because of age or some way compromised health. That service, 9 o'clock, is for those that are at risk. Now, if you fit that category, but you normally bring children or grandchildren with you, you can do that. And there will be a section that will be marked during that service that if you have children or grandchildren with you, you can sit in that particular section. It allows everybody then to be able to sit separate as they need to, but at the same time we can be together. The 11:30 and 2 o'clock services, there will be sections marked off there as well. If you're at risk, but you want to come to one of those 2 services, there will be places marked where you can be a part of that service. Now, to be able to accomplish that, we will ask that people call in the week before and let us know which service you're coming to. But there will be further instructions that we will give at another time. Offerings will not be passed, but instead you can continue to give online, or there'll be a container that as you come into the worship center, an opportunity for you to place the offering there. We're also going to make adjustments in regard to how we do communion. Trays will not be passed. We're going to change the method that we use a little bit, and we'll give you further instruction. But we're going to be doing all of that to remain as safe as possible. Now, we understand that even though we're doing this soft reopening, that there still might be some who aren't comfortable coming back right away. Now, if that's the case, that's fine. We want to provide a recording of the service that we're doing that will be mailed to you on Monday. So if you are planning not to come back right away, but you would like to have a recording of that service, you'll just need to let us know. We'll mail that out on Monday morning. It'll be different from what we're doing now. It'll be just a rough recording of that particular Sunday morning service. We also want to let you know in regard to children's programming and youth programming. The Indiana guidelines have asked that we consider waiting to reopen preschool and children areas until school reopens. And it's been stated that the state won't make all of those recommendations or guidelines until once we enter into July. So we've went ahead and made some decisions. For example, until that time, there will be no separate children or student programming on Sunday mornings. Children and students will all be together with us. There will be no summer vacation Bible school this year. We had to make the decision to go ahead and cancel summer vacation Bible school for this year. Student trips and conferences will not take place this summer. There may be smaller groups of students who will have opportunities to meet as scheduled by their leaders. And our hope and plan is that once it's deemed safe, once as we begin to move into this, we'll be able to provide some opportunities for children and students and families together to gather and to do some events. And as we move into fall, we're hoping everything will be back to where we can have those things and kind of get restarted again. During this time, we're just going to ask that everyone extend grace, and more grace. As we once again gather together to worship, as we re-engage, everyone's going to feel a little bit different. Everybody has kind of a different level of comfort in regard to social distancing. So as we gather together, just extend grace. There will be those who are very cautious, some who are less cautious, and whichever end you find yourself on, just be understanding of everyone else. Now, we are going to ask that during that 4-week period that we don't do any hugs or handshakes. So if you're a hugger, that's going to be hard. If you're a handshaker, that'll be hard. We thought about T-shirts that just said, I'm a hugger, I'm a handshaker. We thought instead we'll just allow everybody to know during that 4 weeks, no hugs, no handshakes, smile, talk, greet, but we'll try that for that 4-week period. We also want to let you know that as of now, we're looking at July 12th as potential kind of a more reopening. We'll give further instruction and further ideas once we move into June. We have to wait and kind of see how things are going to happen. Wait and see what the state decides should take place, but we will let you know. Any of this information that I've just talked about, you'll be able to find that on our website later this week. Also, there'll be a mailing that will go out about 2 weeks before we do the reopening. There'll be a mailing. And in that mailing, there'll be this information, other information, instructions in regard to how all this works. But we want to keep you as informed as possible. So we'll continue to let you know what's taking place as this unfolds. Until that time, we just look forward to when we can get back together.